My fiance told her friend group that I am not the greatest at 6, but she is with me for the complete package. Am I wrong for calling off the engagement? I'm a 27-year-old guy, and I've been engaged to Amy, who's 26, for about a year now. Before that, Amy and I were in a relationship for a solid 5 years. We had our wedding date set for this coming August, and we were both really looking forward to it. On top of that, I've got this great friend named Kylie, who's also 26. We go way back, like practically since we were babies. Our families have always been super close too. In fact, our moms have been best friends since high school, so you could say Kylie and I are almost like siblings now. It's pretty cool to have a friend who's been there since day one, thanks to our mom's long-standing friendship. So Kylie is actually part of the same close-knit group of friends that Amy hangs out with. It's a great group, and we all get along really well. I've noticed that women tend to chat a lot about their relationships with their friends, so sometimes I'll ask Kylie what Amy's been saying about me. Kylie's usually pretty careful about what she shares, which I totally get. But when she does open up a bit, she always has good things to say. She'll mention how much Amy loves me and how she's super excited about our upcoming marriage. It's always reassuring to hear that Amy's as happy and excited about our future together as I am. Last month, I spent an evening at Kylie's place with her and her boyfriend. Usually, Amy and I join them for dinners, but this time Amy was out of town for a few days. We ended up having a really fun night, laughing a lot, and maybe indulging in a bit too much to drink. At some point during the evening, I got a bit curious and started jokingly pestering Kylie to spill the beans on whether Amy had ever said anything negative about me to her friends. After some playful nagging on my part, Kylie finally gave in and shared something Amy had mentioned in passing. She said that Amy had made a joke once about having better experiences in the past when it comes to intimacy. Amy had also added that while that aspect might not be the strongest with me, she felt I was the full package in other ways, and that intimacy wasn't the most important thing to her anyway. At the time, being a bit tipsy, I just laughed it off and didn't think much of it. But looking back, I have to admit it did sting a little. It's never easy hearing something like that, even if it was said in a light-hearted way. The morning after our night out, once I'd sobered up a bit, those comments from Kylie really started to bother me. I couldn't shake off that sting I felt, and it kept playing on my mind. When Amy got back from her trip, I decided to bring it up. I tried to keep it casual, not wanting to make it a big deal. Amy's first reaction was to deny it all. She said that our intimate moments were always great and that she was always satisfied. But I felt like there was more to it, and I really believe that honesty is key in a relationship, especially one that's heading towards marriage. I told Amy that it wouldn't upset me if she told me the truth and that I'd appreciate her honesty. After a bit more probing, she finally came clean. She admitted that she had indeed made that comment to her friends, but she insisted it was meant as a joke. Amy said she only mentioned it because she wanted to highlight some of the other qualities that she loves about me. She reassured me that she's happy with our relationship and that she didn't mean to hurt my feelings. At first, I tried to brush it off with a laugh, but the more I thought about it, the worse it felt. I couldn't shake the hurt, and it really started affecting my mood for the next few days. I just felt down, sad, and honestly, pretty awful about the whole situation. Amy could see how much it was affecting me, and she apologized profusely, saying she really didn't mean to hurt me with her comments. She seemed genuinely sorry and regretful. However, a few days later, I found myself sitting down with Amy and telling her that I couldn't continue our relationship. The things she'd shared with her friends had just hurt me too deeply. I also took the difficult step of letting our friends and families know that I was calling off the wedding. It was a tough week having those conversations and seeing the disappointment on everyone's faces. Amy was absolutely devastated. She tried everything to convince me to reconsider, apologizing over and over again. But I was just feeling too emotionally drained and hurt to see a way forward. Now, looking back, I'm wondering if I overreacted. Was I the one in the wrong here? Update. I'll admit it, I do have some insecurities, and I'm not trying to hide that fact. We all have our vulnerabilities, right? What really got to me was the thought of Amy sharing details about our intimate life with her friends, especially Kylie. I wish Amy had kept those comments between us rather than sharing them with her friends. If she'd only discussed it with me, I would have still felt hurt, no doubt about it. But it would have been something we could work on together privately. I wouldn't have considered ending our relationship over it, and I would have been open to trying to improve things between us in that department. It's just that sharing something so personal with friends, especially someone as close as Kylie, felt like a breach of trust. It made me question how private our relationship really was. I guess I just wish Amy had been more careful with what she shared about us with others. I've always been a bit insecure, and that's no secret. I've asked Kylie from time to time about what Amy thinks of me because I genuinely wanted to be the best partner I could be before we tie the knot. I wanted to address any areas where I might need to improve or change, to be the best version of myself for Amy. However, I never expected the feedback to be about something as personal as our intimate life. I thought maybe Amy might mention something like me not being romantic enough, or maybe not taking her out on as many dates as she'd like. Those were the kinds of things I was prepared to hear and work on. So when I found out that Amy had made comments about our intimacy, saying I wasn't great at it, it really caught me off guard. It hurt even more because Amy had never given me any reason to believe there was an issue in that department during our 5 years together. We'd always seemed to connect on that level, and I'd always thought we were on the same page. Finding out that she'd been discussing this with her friends, especially something that personal, made me feel blindsided. It made me question whether she'd been holding back her true feelings, or if she just recently started feeling this way. Either way, it left me feeling hurt and confused. Now I find myself feeling too embarrassed to even face Amy's friends, especially Kylie. She's reached out to me several times, trying to understand and offer support, but I just can't bring myself to respond. The shame of it all just weighs too heavily on me. I realize that my decision to call off the wedding and end things with Amy has set off a chain of unintended consequences. It's not just Amy who's hurting. It's like a ripple effect that's affected everyone around us. Amy's devastated because she was genuinely looking forward to our marriage and building a future together. My family is heartbroken, and I know her family is feeling the pain too. It's a tough situation all around. What's more, the fallout has even strained the relationship between Kylie and Amy. From what I've heard through the grapevine, Kylie has broken up with her boyfriend recently, though I'm not sure if it's directly related to everything that's happened between us. Still, it's clear that this whole situation has had far-reaching effects, and it's hard not to feel responsible for the hurt that's been caused. I've already put in a request with my company to transfer me to a different state, and they've approved it. So in about 2 months, I'll be packing up and starting fresh somewhere new. It's a big change, but I'm hoping it'll help me get some distance and a fresh perspective on everything that's happened. Losing Amy has been incredibly tough, but it's not just her I've lost. I've also lost my best friend, someone I've known and been close to for my entire life. The void left by both Amy and Kylie in my life is something I'm still trying to come to terms with. It feels like I've lost 2 major pillars of support and companionship in my life all at once. I'll admit mentally, I'm not in the best place right now. The combination of heartbreak, guilt, and the weight of the decisions I've made has taken its toll on me. But I'm trying to stay optimistic about this fresh start in a new state. Maybe a change of scenery will help me heal and find a new path forward. So despite everything, I'm holding on to hope that things will get better once I make this move.